Ever wondered what kind of female you are? Alpha, beta, delta, gamma, omega. But what if you're not like other girls? What if you're built different? What if you're like one of the boys? A lone wolf. You can eat a whole deer by yourself, unlike other girls. Ha! Amateurs. Well, if this describes you, then you might be the enigmatic Sigma female. Not Sigma male, but Sigma female. That's right, instead of Keanu Reeves, you get to be Jenna Ortega. Why not both? Honestly, I find them both utterly butterly charming in their own ways. But before I go on, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Tara Mooney, and I just got a Moonicure. And this is the only channel on YouTube where all videos are written and produced by a cow. She couldn't be in the video today because she's actually writing her own personality test, but if you like and subscribe, she might appear in the next one. So if you've been around since the days where I looked like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber, you'll know that I've already put out a thesis on the Sigma male.
But why do we need to know what type of guy we are? What is the purpose of aligning with a certain character?
Oh god, Homie is being a Sigma male while being dominated by these sound effects.
With a certain
Gender discourse peaked right there.
He's being cooked by them.
Judith Butler, Bell Hooks, Elle Woods, watch your backs. Go give it a watch if you can handle the piss poor audio quality.
Though I suppose I'm not one to talk with the shitty audio in my videos.
I also stirred up some fiery discourse about whether chihuahuas are really so bad, and well, to summarise the male archetypes, as defined by someone with way too much time on their hands, the alpha male is the big boss, confident lad. The Sigma is the more mysterious version who defies social hierarchy. The betas can get women, but only if they contribute to society, like as doctors. Ugh, so beta. Then there's the gamma, who are clueless about women, but at least they're not at the bottom, unlike omegas, who are incels.
There's rocks, there's whale poo, and then there's you.
Now, what about the female versions? Well, all people called Tara have great minds, so I found an article by another Tara who defines the female versions of these archetypes. And she's much nicer than the guy who wrote the male one. Tara gives constructive criticism. Beta females are nurturing, compassionate, and empathetic, making them excellent companions and friends. However, they tend to be more submissive and content with following rather than leading. Omega females possess traits similar to beta females, such as being quiet, emotionally mature, and submissive. However, they also display a strong sense of independence and intellect, often surprising others with their depth of knowledge and insight. This combination of traits sets them apart from Sigma females. Damn, that's quite different from the Omega male. If that's the bottom of the female socio-sexual hierarchy, then I don't think we've got much to worry about, ladies. Oh, and on this one, there's the Delta female who chronically loses other people's luggage. Get it? That's a joke about Delta Airlines. You know what? They can't all land. Okay, that was sick. All right, well done. I've officially redeemed myself, but I'm still not a Sigma female. So what is a Sigma female? Sorry, I mean female. A rare breed. Some say they are nearly extinct. David Attenborough's new documentary will be dropping next week. Sigma females is a type of organism that is never found in reality. Oh, so it's made up. Nah. These personality types are very real. The Sigma female may not be spotted out in the wild very often, but she does exist. She has been spotted, apparently, like the Loch Ness Monster. A Sigma female is a socio-sexual personality characterized by independence and mystery. She makes her own rules and focuses on her life. She's not like the other girls. She doesn't pay her taxes.
Women don't pay taxes.
She's a sovereign citizen. That's the first rule. Here's another 5.
5 rules to be a Sigma female. 1. Control your emotions. 2. Stay disciplined. 3. Learn to fight. 4. Stay focused on your goals. 5. Build self-confidence.
You know what? I agree with these, especially rule number 5. Sigma females cycle. They don't drive. Or, in my case, they can't drive. But they have confidence when they cycle, okay? Even after cycling accidents. See these bad boys? These are scars from a cycling accident I had back in January where I got a concussion. So if you've been wondering why my videos have been declining, well, that's why. What's rule 64? That was the first video I found in my research and I'm still confused.
By the way, do you live with your parents? Is that true?
Yes.
And is that common in India for older children to live with their parents?
It's fine to live with your parents because it's also common in India that we don't have to take appointments with our parents to meet for dinner. So.
She's not even wrong, but what's the Sigma beef specifically with David Letterman? Destroy him. Of all the late night hosts, he's one of the less annoying ones, but go off. Are you confused? Because I sure am. Hopefully a full-length video will clarify things for us.
Nerds excite Sigma females in the same way jocks excite slay queens.
Huh?
Slay queens.
Is this a haiku? To be fair, this channel does have other videos on the topic, such as 10 ice-cold truths about Sigma females. But it's summer where I live, so I'm not watching that. Ooh, what about this one? Jordan Peterson. The most amazing thing he ever said that affects Sigma females. You know what? Why would I listen to a man who gets no bitches? He's completely bitchless. Or at least human ones. Just lobsters. Lobster bitches. Oh, that reminds me of that song. I don't need a lobster, I want a girlfriend. To be fair, that would be pretty Sigma to turn up to a Hinge date dressed as a lobster. It would be like that lady on The Bachelorette who went into full sloth mode to stand out. And that she did.
It's a sloth.
Animal studies are essential studies. Who said drama degrees were useless? Speaking of money, get in loser, we're going to Barbie Land. Make sure you don't forget your special equipment because unlike Barbie and Ken, you do have genitals. So why not bring the Sona to Travel by Lilo? I jumped right into that one, didn't I? Today's video is sponsored by Lilo, a longtime friend of the channel and my favourite shop for all things pleasure. It is the luxury pleasure brand. It's the Dior of toys, except it's much more affordable than Dior. Lilo's mission is to create satisfaction that transcends gender, orientation, race, and age without shame. I'm quitting the Catholic guilt cold turkey, folks. So it's no surprise that they won the award for the best luxury toy range in 2019. Since it's summer, unless you're south of the equator, so sorry if you are, and it's the season of travel, I would recommend adding the Sona 2 Travel to your kit. It has a compact size and discreet design that you can bring along in your carry-on for a short weekend getaway, or in your big suitcase for a long-haul trip, and you can lock it during transport. Phew! You can bring it to Germany, maybe don't bring it to Texas. Or if you can't afford a holiday, bring it to your room for a special getaway, whether it's on your own or with a special someone. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, its body-safe silicone design allows you to use it in the bath or shower and makes it safe and easy to clean. Now that I've convinced you of the Sona 2's brilliance, click on my link in the description to learn about the ultimate sonic massager, and to browse Lilo's vast range for people of all genders and body types. Thank you, Lilo, for sponsoring and feeding the cow. She won't forget it. Really, she remembers everything. So anyone who comes after my dog, remember that. Unlike Sigma females, I do pay my taxes and I do pay my rent, so thank you for sitting through that ad read. Now, let's sit through some more lectures on socio-sexual hierarchical theory. Sounds smart, right? And who better to tell us about women than a man? The OG Sigma male of the Sigma Male channel. To be fair, this content isn't even harmful, it's just odd.
It is a known fact about Sigma males that they aren't really bothered by social approval. Due to this nature, Sigma doesn't like to be with a person that does quite the opposite. Sigma males have a high self-value, which they don't validate by seeking approval from others, and Sigma expects the same self-confidence in his partner as well.
Like, who is it for? I don't know if this is a hot take, but I never understood the whole idea that not caring what anyone thinks is automatically good. The people who say that they don't care what anyone thinks, they tend to be the same people who say, I just tell it how it is, as they mercilessly crush your self-esteem. I guess I am an omega, beta, kappa, gamma
Sigma males don't trust easily, and if they do, they protect them wholeheartedly. For a Sigma, trust is the foundation of any relationship, and if there is no trust, he won't even think of building a relationship with anyone.
Oh, this is another cliche that I hate. When people say, I don't trust very easily, I don't trust anyone, give me attention. Everyone says that, and by revealing that, you are trusting a person. You're not special. We're all sexually broken losers. Also, wanting to trust your partner, everyone should aspire to this. This should be a bare minimum. The irony of this content is that it shares the most run-of-the-mill platitudes, and that's what gets it engagement. Anyone can watch this and be like, oh hey, that's me. A bit like, now don't get angry with me, horoscopes. Like astrology girlies. No, hey, when people ask me, Tara, as a bisexual woman, what's your type? My answer will always be, astrology girlies. But the horoscopes that I've seen, and to be fair, I'm no expert, you know, the general ones you find in magazines, they always tend to be very wishy-washy and generalized, you know, non-specific. But feel free to prove me wrong by sliding into my DMs. I'm joking, that's a joke, don't, I'm unavailable. I'm occupied. This Bugatti is not for sale. Oh shit, I have to delete my Instagram now.
I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram, that's cheating.
I swear, I sent a chick a video about Sigma males so she could better understand why I am the way I am. I was naive in thinking she would finally get it, but it just made her mad. I think it was disheartening for her to go from thinking this is how I choose to be to realizing that this is just the way I am. I can't help it, and I don't want to help it. The things that bother her about me, I actually like about myself. It's the same things that attracted her to me in the first place. This comment is chef's kiss. The use of the noun chick. The shock when discovering that she would not respond well to being sent this content. Oh, the doubling down. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Art. Stunning. It brings a tear to my eye. These type of women are hidden gems and hard to find because they're not seeking attention on social media. Look at that emoji. Bless his heart. This guy's bitter that he had to buy Instagram followers. But don't get it twisted. Women also enjoy this content. I am a Sigma female, and thus far it is pretty well impossible to find a Sigma male. I am single and would rather stay free and independent than waste my life with men who are so toxic and egocentric. Wouldn't a Sigma female and a Sigma male repel each other? I remember physics, they go like... I guess what I will say as a serious criticism of this content is that it gives people surface level advice that confirms that they're special and unique and the rest of the world is the issue, instead of giving actual sound advice with solutions and strategies for better communication in relationships.
Embracing vulnerability and opening up emotionally within relationships can prove challenging for Sigma males. Their fear of emotional exposure can create barriers that impede the development of a deep and lasting connection. Vulnerability is the key to unlocking love's door, but it can be a door that Sigma males hesitate to open. Their inclination towards self-protection can lead to emotional distance, leaving their partners longing for a more intimate and authentic connection.
In isolation, this could be an astute observation, but then the creator liked this comment. Men, regardless of their personality type, should never be emotionally open with a woman. Never share your fears or insecurities with a woman. They will eventually weaponize them against you when it suits them. Putting aside the fact that this reinforces the manosphere trope that women are conniving, spiteful, little snake devils that stomp on men's hearts. It's also objectively bad advice. I mean, that's a surefire way to sabotage your relationship. It also contradicts the messaging in that video. So I know that commentary YouTube, particularly those on the more progressive side of the political spectrum, myself included, criticize manosphere self-help content a lot. And I do take on board the criticism that we often criticize this content without offering a viable alternative. Sometimes we do just want to goof on it for entertainment purposes, which I don't think is always bad. I love a goof or a gaffe. Sometimes both at the same time. But if I were to offer a counter, it would be this. Create content that doesn't sabotage people's relationships. Self-help content with the genuine goal of helping people is good, and you're not a loser for consuming it. I just think that it's become an industry in itself. It's more lucrative for a self-help content creator to confirm their audience's biases, to create a feedback loop, right? So they keep watching their content, because if they were to actually help them solve their problems, they would eventually leave, right? It's in a similar vein to how dating apps aren't designed to help you find long-term fruitful relationships. They're designed to keep you on the apps. And the sad thing is that this content is kept alive by people feeling misunderstood and isolated, rather than them going out into the real world and finding real connections, which granted, I appreciate is way easier said than done. I love never leaving the house. In my life, I've been miserable as a twice married man. The only time I remember being happy was when I was dating multiple women at the same time. Seems sexual competition keeps a woman in pleasing mode. Honestly, women can't help themselves. Once they know you, the man, are committed to them, they lose 90% of their desire for you and start looking for your replacement. He also liked that comment. And this isn't just to do with dating. Like in this video, why Sigma males have no friends, the bitter truth. There's this comment. We have no friends because we know who humanity really is. Alright, well that's productive. If you can't even have faith in your boys, who can you have faith in, fellas? Fellas, is it gay to have friends? A Sigma is one who has a deeper meaning of life and doesn't need the stupidity of others. Oh my god, shut up, you're so annoying. It's worth noting that in a video about Sigma females, I've delved into talking about Sigma males again. So why is that? Well, I think there's a few reasons. Firstly, I think the qualities of the Sigma aren't perceived the same way across different genders. By which I mean, if women actually acted like Sigma females, they wouldn't be perceived positively. Like being quiet, not seeking approval. If a woman isn't friendly and comes off as standoffish, she's called a bitch. Manosphere weirdos watching this are gonna be like, which, fine. I'm impressed you've got this far. Another reason the Sigma female hasn't taken off is that the kind of woman this would appeal to, you know, the not like other girls / pick me crowd might not align with the messaging surrounding Sigma women being independent, success-driven, etc. That market tends to appeal to women who are seeking a more traditional lifestyle. That's not always the case. There are not like other girls who simply feel misunderstood by other women, but that hole has already been filled by the classic TV character trope that is already on its way out.
Name?
Senorita Awesome.
You got it.
Talk about irony. Wednesday Addams was used as an example of a Sigma female in that article I showed you at the beginning, but Jenna Ortega, who played Wednesday, actively pushed back against a line in the script that made Wednesday sound like a massive N-log.
Remember there's a line where like I'm talking about a dress and she was supposed to say, oh my god, I'm freaking out over a dress. I literally hate myself. And I was blown away because that sounded like, it was just like a bunch of little things like that where I felt like we were able to avoid a lot of dialogue that in an attempt to make her sound human.
The kids are alright. And the final reason, the girlies have already got astrology. Enough said. But yeah, if even Wednesday Addams isn't on board with the whole Sigma female grind set, I don't think it's taking off. Stop trying to make Sigma happen. It's not gonna happen. I have to remind you that I am a mere millennial sometimes. So that was your reminder. I suppose I could have whacked out a ukulele. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to stick around for the subscription pet shout out. And make sure to check out Lilo and wish me a happy belated birthday. I am thrilled to be 46 years old. It's my birthday month. I'm a Cancer, shockingly. I'm thin-skinned like a little baby, so it checks out. Yeah, it checks out. Anyway, see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. So today I'm shouting out the most Sigma of house pets, and that is the guinea pig. So this person has 3 guinea pigs, but they've specifically asked me to shout out one of their guinea pigs, which I just find really funny. So this is Sprout, the youngest but by no means smallest of the 3. Sprout is a Rex guinea pig. Because she lives with Abyssinian guinea pigs, acts like one too. Now, just an FYI, I know nothing about guinea pigs, so this means nothing to me, but thank you for educating me. Instead of being chill and calm like other Rexes, Sprout is loud, intense, and a bit hyper. Sprout loves munching on lettuce, hiding in pockets, and eating her own poo. Oh, her and Siggy would get along. So here are some lovely pictures of Sprout, and of course her siblings, Piddles, who's the reddish-black one, and Barbara, who's white, black, and brown. Thanks for being a subscription, Sprout. Lots of love.